A lot of entrepreneurs these days, at least the millennials, the millennial entrepreneurs, they always look at obstacles as an external thing, right? But a lot of people, because since we are living in such a distracted world, uh, how can an entrepreneur prevent himself or herself from being the obstacle?
Well, it's a great question, and I don't think there's actually an answer to that because I don't think there's any specific way to not be the obstacle because we're always going to get in our own ways, whether no matter how high level the person is, no matter how much personal development they've done, no matter how much meditation they do and whatever it is, we're always an obstacle. And as long as you understand that your mind will always try to trick you into doing what is safe, to doing what is comfortable, then you'll understand that that's an obstacle that you're always going to have to face, and you're going to have to face that adversity. So what I've understood in all of my ups and downs, I will always be an obstacle, because the one thing when you're growing your own business, when you're an entrepreneur, you can't remove yourself from the equation. If you remove yourself from the equation doesn't exist. So when you can understand that, you know, you're going to be an obstacle and you're going to face obstacles, and you have to understand that it's all a mindset shift. So when something comes up and my mind gets the best of me, and there's a lot of negative self-talk or a lack of belief, I sit with it and I ask myself one question. And this one question actually grounds me and validates what I'm feeling or what I'm thinking. And I'll ask myself, how does this thought serve me? And when I ask myself that question, it presents itself. Because if I'm thinking to myself, you know, this is never going to work, you know, I'm just going to fail, this sucks, it's going to be a huge disaster, right? And I ask myself, how does this serve me? And when I answer that question with, this doesn't serve me at all, I realized that was just an obstacle I had to overcome. And it's just my mind trying to play a trick on me. So again, you know, the biological brains that we have, we're always meant to play it safe. Getting uncomfortable is very uncomfortable, and it's also very unnatural. So the more that you can ask yourself that question, how does this thought serve me? And if it doesn't serve you, it's completely made up, it's a story, it doesn't exist, then you know the truth, and then you can move forward.
That's great. So when can this trigger be activated? So when things doesn't work the way that you expect, is that when you ask yourself this question, or or when is the right time to ask this question?
I don't think there's a perfect time. I think we all know that, you know, the only time we have is right now. And I think when things, I was saying to my future wife last night, we were in bed, and we always, for some reason, we always start brainstorming right before we're going to go to sleep, which is the worst thing to do because then it's hard for us to fall asleep. But I said to her, I said, you know, this quarantine, because we work from home anyway, so I mean, we're always quarantined. I said, this is the universe's way of telling us, listen, I'm giving you 60, 90 days to really get your business together. And don't make any excuses, because now you have all the time in the world. No one can go anywhere. People are more available than ever to talk and to network. So I don't want to hear your excuses. I'm giving you the time. So the best time is always the present time. And my other thing is that you never want to wait for something to happen where you then have to react emotionally. The more that you can be in control of the emotions of what you're doing. And again, we can plan the best that we can, but things always come up. But what I've learned is being resilient and overcoming obstacles is like a muscle. The more resilient you are, the more obstacles that you overcome, the more familiar it is. So it's not uncomfortable. So it's just like another thing. So you're almost pre-programming your mind and your body to overcome that something, because then you know what? This is another season of life, and you know what? I'm going to work through it. The seas are going to be rough for a little while, and I'm going to come out better on the other end. So I don't feel there's a time where you need to look out for it. You just have to be very present in the moment and recognize what it is, and then start to game plan. How do I flow through this like water? How do I not let this current situation get the best of me?
Excellent. Thanks for sharing that.